Hey everyone, welcome back to my VCT America's prediction series. Today I'm just going to go through all the games for this week, giving you my prediction of who I think will win, and just talking a little bit about the games. And then talking about my power rankings and a little bit about what happened last week and how teams are moving up or down in the power rankings. There were a lot of cool games last week with interesting results, so be sure to stay tuned for the power rankings at the end of the video. And yeah, if you guys enjoy, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Leave a comment on what you thought about the video in general, just predictions and the power rankings, all that kind of stuff. And yeah, let's get right into it. All right, so we'll start with the predictions here. And since we have a lot of them this week, I'll try to go through each game pretty quickly since it's the Super Week. And it should be pretty fun. I mean, every team plays 2 games. Some teams, I think it's an advantage for, some, not as much. So yeah, let's get right into it. Start with Loud Sentinels. I know Sentinels just subbed in Marved. They're going to have about a week of practice, maybe a little bit less, coming into this game. I don't see them taking this one against Loud, who is probably the top 2 team in the world. Well, definitely a top 2 team in the world, but I think you can make an argument that they're the best right now as well. But I'm going to have them beating Sentinels here. And then Leviathan, MIBR. I don't think I have to explain this one that much. I know MIBR got the upset last week against NRG, but I really just don't see them taking this game against Leviathan, who should be pretty consistent week to week, other than maybe like at the end of games kind of having a little bit of hiccups, even though, yeah, they did have a decently bad week against Sentinels last week. So we'll see. I still think they beat MIBR, though. I don't think that win over NRG was anything like that'll change the rest of the season other than just the standings. And then Crew 100 Thieves. I mean, I'm going to take a similar vibe into this game that I did last week. If 100 Thieves lose this game, I think there should be roster changes. I don't know who their sub is right now because technically it was James IRL, who was their 6th man, who's like an assistant coach. So, and then they got rid of him. So I don't know who their 6th man is right now, but we'll see. So I don't think they make roster changes. Like I don't think the organization or GM or head coach, like I don't think they'd make any changes like that. But also I could see, I mean, I think they should if they lose this game. And then Furia, EG, even though they lost in pretty disappointing fashion last week to Loud, I'm going to take Furia. I think they were overrated last week. I think everybody was really overreacting to a couple good games from them, especially from Khalil. So again, I think they're probably about like the 3rd to 4th best team in the league, behind either, if you have like them ahead of NRG. I mean, I think I wouldn't argue too much with you if you had them 2nd over Leviathan and NRG, but it depends on if you think they're better than NRG or not. I think they're not, but that's a different thing. And then C9 NRG. I think NRG is going to come in prepped for this game and be pretty easily dealt with. I guess not dealt with. Pretty easily deal with Cloud9. Yeah, I don't really have too much else to say. I know Cloud9 beat 100 Thieves, and they look really nice right now, but I still think NRG is the best NA team. I think they will be at the end of the split. I just have faith in FNS, Chet, Optic Core, Som, Artists. I'm losing faith in. He's been so disappointing. I thought he was going to be like, maybe not Yay caliber, but I don't think anybody was going to be Yay caliber this year. Nobody was going to have that kind of year. But I thought he would be up there with like your Durkas, your Ospas, and he just hasn't been. And then MIBR, Sentinels. I'm going to take Sentinels in this game. I think this one should be close. I don't think the first MIBR game is going to be particularly close, or the first Sentinels game for that matter. But with Marv coming in, I think the roles in this team make a lot more sense. I think you're going to have Zekin on the primary duelist. You're going to have Def on flex, like initiator stuff, maybe like playing the harbor on some maps or whatnot. And Sage there, just anything like essentially filling in that isn't Sentinel. Saucy back on the initiator. And then either Pancata or Marved on Smokes, and then the other one on Sentinel. I think they're probably going to bring Marved in on Smokes so he doesn't have to play a new role coming into this team. But he did play that when he was playing in the like NA Tier 2 circuit, so I could see either way. Like if they don't like what they've seen from Pancata and Sentinel, then they could put him back on Smokes. So I just I think these roles will make more sense. I don't think they'll necessarily look better this week, but I think if this roster continued down the line, like for the rest of the split, I think they might end up looking better than the other one, just strictly based on roles. And then Leviathan, 100 Thieves, this one's easy. Leviathan, 100 Thieves just, they've been so disappointing. I kind of touched on it earlier, but with the failure of all these NA teams, at least I get a good like content series at the end of the year, like fixing all the NA teams, which should be fun. Like what roster moves I would make and kind of that kind of stuff. So make sure to stay tuned for that because I'm gonna really enjoy making that series. I'm gonna put a lot of effort into it. I mean, I'm already starting writing the script for the 100 Thieves one because I have no faith they're gonna get back to their expectations, like what they were at the beginning of the year. But anyways, Leviathan should be able to mop up this game and deal with any like Asuna or even a cryo pop off, which I am just waiting for that to happen. As a 100 Thieves fan, I'm just very upset by this team because of the expectations going into the year, and now they're like the sixth or seventh best team in the league. Loud, EG. I mean, I don't even have to explain that one. Moving on, and then C9 Furia. This might be some NA copium here, but I'm actually going to take C9. I still think Furia is the better team, but also like they kind of just they flopped against Loud. I don't think they'll lose to EG because they're good enough to beat that team, or EG's bad enough to lose to a flopping Furia. But I don't think Cloud9's that bad. I mean, I think there's a way that Furia beats EG, gets some confidence back after losing to Loud, and then just comes and mops up C9. I think that's very possible. But I also just think C9 has this like upset potential in every game they play. They played Loud really close. I mean, who haven't they played close? What Loud was the only game they lost. Every other team they won. Yeah, so I'm just saying they played Loud really close. Loud destroyed Furia. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think this one is a little bit out there, but I mean, I predicted Cloud9 beating EG, so I don't think this is too crazy, even though it's a little bit of a hot take. And then NRG beat Crew to finish out the predictions for this week. So yeah, I have Loud, Leviathan, 100 Thieves, Furia, NRG, Sentinels, Leviathan, Loud, Cloud9, and NRG winning this week in order. Some of the I don't think this is the best games that we could have. Like Cloud9 with Yay, that would be a cool matchup against the NRG. I think this should have been the week where either this game or this game should have been Loud NRG. I feel like that would have been a lot cooler to have in the super week rather than just NRG playing two like teams. So yeah, I'm gonna split this pick'em and we'll go on to the power rankings. And now the power rankings. Here we go. So we'll start off at the bottom. EG and Crew in the tier of their own. I think that's pretty simple. EG beat Crew, so that's why they're still above them. Then at 8, I actually have MIBR. I know it's probably a hot take to still have them down here, but I'm not going to go too much off of 1 week, but I do have them in going a tier up into this tier of, what is it, 5 teams, right? Yeah, no, 6 teams. No, 7. I cannot count. Sorry. Yeah, 7 teams. I just wasn't thinking. I was just like the 2 teams to the top, and then like I don't fucking know. I don't know what I was doing, but I have them at the bottom of this tier just because I don't think they're better than any of Sentinels, 100, or they haven't proven to be better than any of Sentinels, 100 Thieves, Cloud9, Furia, NRG, or Leviathan, especially those teams at the top. I think you could argue for like some tier break after C9, Uh, but I don't know. I think that can come after this week. I'm not like super super thrilled with the tier break there. But yeah, Sentinels, 100 Thieves going down. Pretty self-explanatory. Cloud9 just going up above them. I still think Sentinels is worse than 100 Thieves. Uh, but Cloud9 is better than both of those teams, so that's why Sentinels is going down, even though they had a good week against Leviathan. And also they're making some roster changes too, so I I did make this before the Marved stuff got announced, but I still think they'd be about there. I wouldn't argue with you if you wanted to put them 8 below MIBR, but that's it. Like that's the farthest I'm comfortable moving them down. And then yeah, C9 beat 100 Thieves, has been looking really good. Not as much to my surprise as other people seem to be. I thought they had a really nice trio in Zeppa, Leaf, and Celsius, especially Zeppa and Leaf. I think they were two of the best players in NA, even last year when that team was not performing, and Zeppa wasn't really on a good role for him. Leaf wasn't great at Chamber. I just think this team. I don't think it should be a surprise that they're beating some teams anymore, unless it's like the Louds, the Vietnam Energy, maybe, uh, in which there probably should be a tier break there, but whatever. Uh, I I don't know. I think any of these teams can really take games off each other, so that's why I kind of kept them in that tier. And then Furia staying put at 4, about where I thought they were last week. Uh, they did kind of get rolled by Loud a little bit harder than I thought they would, but I still think they looked really nice. I mean, they have been looking really nice, so I'm not going to move them down at all. I just think they were fairly rated last week. And then I do still have energy at 3. I still believe in this team. Again, as I was saying before, Chet, FNS, that Optic Core. I believe in Sam. I think he's the best player in that roster. Obviously, Artis is a bit of a question mark at this point, depending on like what role he's playing and whatnot. But I still think he has potential to be like a really nice Sentinel player for them if he's playing that. Even a really good Jet player when he's playing that. Even though I think Victor was playing that on Lotus. So overall, I just think this team, yes, they don't look I mean, they look good. Like outside of the Vietnam game on Lotus, they've looked like a great team, and they've just kind of lost. I mean, they've just lost the games. Like I don't really know what to say. Like if you just do the standings here, they lost to Leviathan, they got upset by MIBR, and then looked really nice against Sentinels. So I'm not gonna overreact to any of that. I still think they're a top 3 team in Americas. Uh, but since they lost MIBR, I do have to move Leviathan ahead of them. Even though Leviathan did not look great last week against Sentinels. I think they did a little bit of trolling. I think it was on, what did they lose? Ascent? Yeah. I mean, Zekin also just went nuclear on that map, so there's a little bit of both worlds there. I don't think they're the best Ascent team in the world anymore. Uh, maybe. I don't know. I'd have to think about it. But yeah. And then Louds, they put at 1, as I've had this whole season. I just did not understand the Fury at 1 talk, especially by the Plat Chat boys. Like, yes, Loud are trolling, but also they're running like testing comps like Navi is, and you're giving Navi the benefit of the doubt. But why aren't you giving it to Loud? It just didn't make any sense to me. I think Loud, again, as I said earlier, there's an argument for them being the best team in the world. I think before this game there wasn't, but I know Fnatic's kind of rolling in EMEA and they don't really have to even try to win against some of those teams, but also like I don't know. I think that game was a little bit fluky. I think the finals, I don't know. I wouldn't say one is definitively better than the other though. And I think both teams are better than DRX right now, so I've seen DRX tossed around as like the best team in the world right now. I just don't get it. But that's a topic for another day because that's going to be it for the video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you enjoyed. And yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.